Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I'm Kim. This will be a short, gentle practice. We'll bring in some Warrior One and Warrior Two positions, get some grounding energy down through the legs, some strong legs, some opening through the hips, the groins, and also some expansion across the chest. So grab a couple of blocks, bring yourself to your mat, and find a comfortable space to begin your practice. I'm going to start in seated today. We won't be here for too long before we get moving, but take what works for you. You can find a seat, you can bring yourself into child's pose, or you can lay down on your back, take a little mini shavasana, or lay down on your side or your belly if you prefer. So allow yourself to get comfortable. Close your eyes and begin to settle in. Send your awareness through your body. Notice how you feel today. Notice any sensations in the body, any sensations in your mind, any thoughts, emotions that you're dealing with. Notice any areas of tightness or tension anywhere in your body, or also any areas that feel open, where your energy is flowing smoothly. Any areas that feel great. As always, I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with yourself as we move through our practice today. And I invite you to bring that intention off of the mat and out into your day with you. Begin to bring your focus to your breath. A few nice, deep, smooth breaths here. Inhaling in through the nose and exhaling out through the nose or out through the mouth. And begin to call yourself back now. And bring movement back into your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Flutter the eyes open. Yawn, sigh, wiggle, stretch. Take any movement that feels good in your body. Listen to your teacher within. And then if you're not on your back, take a moment to slowly find your way down onto your back. And draw the knees into your chest. Take your hands to the back of your thighs. Pull the knees in. Happy baby modification. Knees bent here. You send your feet up towards the ceiling as if you could step right up onto the ceiling. You can stay here at center, or you could rock yourself gently side to side. If you would like to move into the full version of Happy Baby, you can reach your hands up for the feet, inner edges, outer edges, heels, or you could grab the calves or the shins, whatever you can grab a hold of. And if you are rocking, bring yourself to center. Drop your feet down to the mat. Now take the inner edges of the feet together. Begin to drop the knees out to the side. So now soles of the feet can come together, knees wide. Few deep breaths here, feeling this opening through the groins and the inner thighs. And then bring your knees up, plant the feet down on the mat. Now extend your legs out wide, arms out wide to the side, finding this giant X shape with your body. And we'll take it into a Warrior One on the floor, on our back. So begin to bend that right knee. Draw that right knee over towards the right side. and slowly begin to roll over onto that right hip. And as you do that, begin to spin that left foot down towards the floor. So the inner edge of that left foot will press down into the floor. Left leg reaching out behind you. Right knee moving down towards the mat as you roll onto that right hip. And you can take both arms up overhead. And then we'll release, roll yourself through center, find that giant X shape again. Then we roll it over onto the other side. Now begin to bend that left knee, draw that knee up, over to the left. So you begin to spin over onto that left hip, press the inner edge of that right foot down to the floor, right leg behind you, and then maybe right arm up overhead. So we're finding this warrior one position, but on the floor, so a different relationship to gravity. And then roll yourself onto your back, arms come wide. Now let's take it back over to the right side. Right knee begins to bend. You draw that right knee up towards that armpit a little bit. Begin to roll onto that right hip. Press the inner edge of that left foot down to the mat. Left arm can come up to reach the right arm. And now keeping that right knee where it is, begin to roll onto your back, and you can roll that left foot up towards the ceiling now. So now your shoulders, your buttocks will come down to the mat. You're gently pressing that right knee over towards the right side. So now we're in a warrior two version on the floor. You can take the arms out to the sides. Turn your head to look over the right fingers, and then turn your head now to look over your left fingers. And then bring yourself through that X shape. We'll take it over to the other side, starting with our warrior one on the floor. Bend that left knee, roll over onto that left hip. Inner edge of that right foot presses down to the floor behind you, and that right arm comes up over the ear. Maybe the palms come together to touch. Now slowly begin to roll onto your back. Left knee can stay where it is, gently pressing down towards the floor. Now you roll the right toes up towards the ceiling. Shoulders, buttocks down on the mat. Now open the arms out to the side. Warrior two arms. Gaze over the left fingers. And now turn your head. Shift your gaze and look over your right fingers. Turn your head again, shifting the gaze back over to the left fingers, and now come onto your back, arms wide, legs wide. Bend your knees, draw your knees into your chest, rock yourself gently, cross your sacrum, cross that low back. And then bring yourself to center. Now you either roll over to one side and press up, or you could take hands behind the thighs or the knees and gently rock and roll yourself up. And then let's come into a table position. Hands come forward, you step the knees back. Finding this all fours position here on the hands and the knees. And now tuck your toes under, press down into your hands, hug in through the arms, triceps wrap back. Right into the finger pads, lift and glide your hips up and back. Downward dog, start with a big or little bend in the knees here and begin to walk out your dog or bend and straighten the knees or find any movement that you like that feels right for you for this moment. And then slowly walk, crawl, step yourself up to the top of your mat. Let's take it into a forward fold. For a moment, lift your belly up off of your thighs. Fold from your hips, so we're not taking it in the low back. We're hinging from the hip joints. Bring the belly to the thighs. Let your head go. Shake or nod the head. You can release hands down to the mat or grab a hold of your elbows. Maybe sway your hips from side to side. Maybe sway the arms as well. And then bring yourself to center. Take hands to your hips, press into your feet. and come all the way up to stand. We'll take it into a warrior one now. Step the left foot back, about a leg's length or so, but you play around with that distance and see what feels okay. Hips are facing up towards the top of the mat. We'll begin to bend that right knee, knee tracking over the ankle, and press down through that back heel. Make sure your back knee feels really good here. No tweaking in that back knee. If it feels tweaky or wonky, then you shorten up your stance, or begin to open that left hip just a little bit to accommodate that back knee. Begin to spin the rib cage up towards the top of the mat. Press down into the feet, grounding down into the earth, feeling the earth energy rise up through the feet, up into the legs, up through the belly, up through the spine. Reach the arms up. And then release the arms down, begin to straighten that front leg. Bend that front knee, sweep the arms back up along the ears. Straighten the front leg as you bring the arms down. Let's do it one more time. Bend that front knee, arms sweep up. And then release the arms down. You can straighten that front leg. And now we'll turn the feet in. So now you're facing a long edge of your mat, feet parallel-ish. We'll turn the left toes towards the other end of the mat. Keep the right toes facing up towards that long end of your mat. We'll take it into a warrior two now, towards the other end of the mat. Bend that left knee, root down through the pinky toe side of that right foot. Feel that inner arch of the right foot begin to lift. Rib cage facing towards the long edge of the mat. Hips, shoulders facing towards the long edge of the mat. Shoulders lined up over the hips. Arms wide. And gaze over your front fingers. Now shift your gaze and look over your back fingers. And then shift the gaze, look forward, release the arms down, straighten that left leg, turn that left foot back in, and then you turn the right toes up towards the top of the mat again. We'll bring it back into warrior one. Bend that right knee, press into the back foot, hips squaring up towards top of the mat, or rib cage squaring up towards top of the mat, arms reach up. And then release your arms down. We'll step that left foot up, top of the mat. Step your right foot back now, coming into a warrior one on this side. We'll begin to bend that left knee, knee over the ankle, press down into the feet. Feel that lift up through the inner arches of your feet, up through the inner legs, pelvic floor lifting, belly lifting, low back sweeping in and up, arms reach up. And then we'll straighten that left leg, release the arms down, bend that left knee, reach arms back up. Again, straighten that left leg, arms come down. And then one more time, you bend that left knee, arms reach up. Now straighten the left leg, arms come back down. We'll turn the feet again towards the long edge of your mat and spin yourself over to the other end of the mat. Now right toes turn towards the other end of your mat. Left toes still turning out towards that long edge of your mat. Begin to bend that right knee. Shoulders lining up over the hips. Pressing that right knee over towards pinky toe side of the foot. Arms reach wide. Gaze over the front fingers. And then turn and gaze over the back fingers. Turn gaze over the front fingers again, and then release the arms down. Straighten that right leg. We'll turn that right foot in. Take it back up to the top of the mat again. Spin that left foot up towards the top of the mat. Root down into that right heel. And then we'll bend that left knee again. Arms come back up into your warrior one. And then we'll take the arms down. You can straighten that left leg, step all the way back up top of the mat. Let's take the arms out to the sides and up overhead, palms together. Soften your knees, hinge from your hips. We'll fold back into a ragdoll forward fold. Now bend your knees a lot so that you can get your hands down onto the mat. And step your feet back into your downward dog.
down through the fingers, lift up through the forearms, up through the armpits. Heels reaching down towards the mat. You can still have that big or little bend in the knees. And then release your knees down to the mat. Drop over to one hip, swing the legs around. Let's take it back down to the mat. Onto our backs, legs wide, finding that X shape. We'll find our floor warriors again. Begin to bend that right knee, turn it out towards that right side, roll up onto that right hip and onto the inner edge of the left foot. Left arm reaches up overhead. Warrior one. And then we'll begin to turn the left toes up towards the ceiling. Come onto the back. Arms reach wide for your warrior two. And then extend that right leg back out. You find that X shape again. Let's roll it to the other side. Bend the left knee. Draw that left knee up. And then we'll roll over onto the left hip. Inner edge of that right foot presses down into the floor. Right arm reaches up over the ear. And we take it into our floor warrior two. Begin to roll onto your back. Left knee still pressing towards the floor. Roll the right toes up towards the ceiling. Right leg out to that right side. Arms out to the sides. And then roll yourself onto your back. Draw both knees into your chest. Again, rock yourself side to side. Bring yourself to center. Take your hands to your knees and then roll your knees around in a few little circles. And then switch the direction. And bring yourself to center. And then slowly roll over to one side. Press yourself all the way back up. And bring yourself into a comfortable seat. Palms together at your heart. May you feel safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. May your heart be open to love, compassion. May you know joy. Thank you so much for sharing this short, gentle practice with me today with love and gratitude. Namaste.